All right, hello, wine drinking people. Today's Tuesday, September 7th, and we have got a ton of events coming up here for you the next 2 weeks here at the Wine Watch. Tomorrow night, surprise, still plenty of room for the Austrian-German tasting. All right, we've got some great stuff: Riesling, Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Noir, Gruner Veltliner from Austria, and then Riesling from Germany. That's right, folks. They do make other great varietals into wine in Germany, but tomorrow night we're focusing on the best wine they do, Riesling. All right, so check that out. The lineup is up on our calendar of events up on the website. We got maybe one space left for Vegas Sicilia on Thursday. Somebody jump quick on that. And then Friday night, we're sold out at Cello Restaurant for the Brito Bricca di Uccelone tasting. But hey, next week, lots of stuff coming up. We got 5 events next week, man, including our big event Thursday night, the Pairings event at the Broward Center. We'll have like 1,000 people there. And then an event that's on the calendar that really we haven't got any action on, but we're drinking these wines, buddy, with or without you. The Vintage Burgundy tasting, where we're showing Domaine de Romanée-Conti, Leroy, Ponceau, Georges Comte de Vogue, some of the top names in Burgundy, going back to the 1966 vintage. Check it out on the calendar of events, the Vintage Burgundy tasting, Friday the 17th. All right, well, what have I got to sell you today? Well, today, we've got one of the greatest properties in Bordeaux, one of the 5 first growths, one of the 4 original first growths, when most people don't realize that back in 1855, Mouton Rothschild was not classified as a first growth. As a matter of fact, it was the only property that was elevated from that original 1855 classification. Chateau Margaux was considered to be one of the greatest wines in Bordeaux, for a very long time. And like I mentioned, over 150 years ago, they were classified a first growth. Maybe not the top of the tops, but Margaux was a lowly appellation back then. I don't think there was too much going on where you had Chateau Palmer. There wasn't a lot of exciting stuff coming from Margaux until really just recently. You know, you had Giscours, which is pretty good. Today, you've got a lot of top-level stuff coming from Margaux. Margiela, a new property that we've had in the store, outstanding. Las Combes, become one of the top wines in Margaux this century. And a lot of other great stuff popping up. Cantenac Brown, Brain Cantenac. But Chateau Margaux still at the top in Margaux, the top level of quality. This property was purchased in the late 70s. It had fallen into disarray by the Mezzalopoulos family, and Karine, the daughter, still runs it today. And really, you know, if you look at the great vintages of Margaux, you have 61, you have 59, which we showed at the Great Wine Seminar with Paul Ponsier, the gentleman that's run this property since 1983. Well, he was brought on in 83. He's run it for shortly after that. He's been the winemaker and one of the head guys, a really nice guy, one of the ultimate gentlemen in Bordeaux. And we showed this property going back to 1959, including the 61, but no vintages in the 70s, even though when the Mezzalopoulos family took it over in the late 70s, 78 immediately, the first vintage, they were considered one of the greatest wines of the 78 vintage, which was not considered a great vintage. And again in 79, and again in 1980, you could see that Margaux was again on the move, and the people in charge now were willing to make the sacrifices monetarily and physically to make Margaux great wine again. And I've been to Chateau Margaux several times. The people there are always very accommodating. And one of the big surprises for me at the Great Wine Seminar last year was the Pavillon Rouge de Chateau Margaux and the white wine. The Pavillon Blanc, one of the only white wines made in the Margaux appellation, is 100% Sauvignon Blanc. This wine in 2006 was over 15% alcohol. Paul said it was 16. But man, that is unreal in Bordeaux. You don't see wines that are that alcoholic, but you don't notice it in this wine. Incredible balance, incredible concentration, just wonderful melon, grapefruit, and almost like a lemon oil kind of citrus to this wine. Lovely balance, like I said, for being so rich, you really don't notice this high alcohol. The Pavillon Rouge was created, I think, about the same time the Mezzalopoulos family took over Chateau Margaux. This was to improve the quality, and they actually make 16,000, 17,000 cases of Pavillon Rouge to their 12,000 cases of the first wine, Chateau Margaux. And as I mentioned in previous emails, these great growths of the Medoc, the vineyards are not classified. They could make as much Chateau Margaux as they wanted to, but they still have this high level of quality to adhere to, and they can only come up with about 10, 12,000 cases of this great growth from Margaux every year. Check out all the great older vintages we've got in this offering. We've got vintages going back to 82, and guess what? The 82 is the same price as the 2009 futures on this wine. Well, from us it was. You may be able to find a little cheaper somewhere else, but check out the older vintages, the best values in Bordeaux today. All right, I'm your host, Andrew Lampasone for the Wine Watch, signing off, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.